Well, the Eastern Sierra Regional Airport, that's the Bishop Airport, regularly hosts military aircraft, and this week an FA-18 Hornet was in the Eastern Sierra. Now, Wikipedia says the McDonnell Douglas FA-18 Hornet, twin-engine supersonic all-weather carrier, capable multi-role combat jet. That just sounds cool. It's designed as both a fighter and attack aircraft, hence the FA designation. Designed by McDonnell Douglas, which is now Boeing, and also Northrop. The FA-18 was derived from the latter's YF-17 in the 1970s for use by the United States Navy and Marine Corps. The Hornet is also used by air forces of several other nations, and since 1986 by the U.S. Navy's Flight Demonstration Squadron, the Blue Angels. Now the FA-18 has a top speed of Mach 1.8. That's 1,190 miles per hour. It can carry a wide variety of bombs and missiles, including air-to-air and air-to-ground, supplemented by the 20-millimeter M61 Vulcan cannon. It is powered by two General Electric F404 turbofan engines, which give the aircraft a high thrust-to-weight ratio. Now, the Wikipedia report continues that the FA-18 has excellent aerodynamic characteristics, primarily attributed to its leading edge extensions. Now, the fighter's primary missions are fighter escort, fleet air defense, suppression of enemy air defenses, air interdiction, close air support, and aerial reconnaissance. The Hornet saw its first combat action during the 1986 United States bombing of Libya and subsequently participated in the 1991 Gulf War and the 2003 Iraq War. Andrew David recorded this video this afternoon when the FA-18 took off just before 2 o'clock at the Eastern Sierra Regional Airport in Bishop. You could hear it for miles around, and it's pretty cool stuff. We love having the military aircraft come to the Eastern Sierra. And now, this. Folks, I'm here with Bill Schneider. Bill's been a long-time radio presence here in the Eastern Sierra. His brother, Jack Schneider, worked at KMET and obviously then worked with Ace Young and Jim Ladd and many people, including Pat Kelly. Now, Pat Kelly has a great honor coming up this Saturday. He is going to announce on ESPN 710 LA, the radio station, the starting lineups for the Rams preseason game coming up this Saturday. Bill Schneider had everything to do with that. Bill, why don't you tell us a little bit about how this all came about?
Well, thanks, Bob. Well, actually, Pat Paraquat Kelly's dad, Bob, has a lot to do with the honor. He spent 30 years announcing for the Rams. He started when he was 19 years old. One of the big shots at the then Cleveland Rams heard Bob on the radio announcing a basketball game, said, "Hey, if you do basketball that well, can you do football too?" He says, "Sure, I'm 19 years old, I can do anything." So he was hired on the spot, came to LA when the Rams came to LA after leaving Cleveland. Best move they ever made. And Bob was very good at not only announcing the games, he had his own nightly radio show, Monday through Friday, 3 hours, and he would get controversial. He would actually express opinions, which in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, not everyone did. And unfortunately, when he was 49 years old, he had a massive heart attack and passed away. But Bob opened the door for Pat to get into radio. He also opened the door for Dick Enberg, who followed him as the Rams announcer. And being a good father, he had Pat at all the games, at the practices, and he hung out with the players. He's still friends with many of the players, the ones that are still alive, of course. And so this is a big homecoming for Pat. Pat has multiple sclerosis. He's been basically bedridden for 13 years. And obviously doesn't get out. He has to go by ambulance. And so I was at Pat's house a few months ago, and I just, Pat, to be honest with you, it's bucket list time. If you could, what's on your bucket list? And he said, frankly, at this point, kicking the bucket. Because it costs $12,000 a month that is not covered by any insurance for his health care. And it's depleted all the money that he and his wife, Melody Rogers, had saved up over the years. And just a huge emotional drain upon him. And and he wanted to just get to the Rams, to the Coliseum in the parking lot, just to hear the crowd and to hear the announcers, because he knew that's the best he could do with his condition. I dreamed bigger. I contacted, oh my God, hundreds of people, former players, radio personalities, TV personalities. The Rams are hard to get a hold of, the actual people. Finally got a hold of them, and after dozens of emails, phone calls, and other things, I got the word last Friday, that this coming Saturday, August 20th, that Pat will be picked up at his home along with his wife, Melody, taken to the LA Coliseum. They're going to take him up to the press box where his dad spent 30 years almost, and announce the starting lineup for the LA Rams in their second home game back at the Coliseum.
Yeah, Bill was in touch with me as he was trying to get in touch with the Rams, and I know that you went through a lot to do this. Must have been very gratifying for you when they finally got back in touch with you last week.
Oh my God, to be honest, I wept. Just knowing what it means to Pat. Pat had gone into, he's very, very open about it, a bit of a depression, and was in almost a death spiral, ready to go, because it was emotionally and financially so hard on his family that he really had nothing left to look forward to. Each day when he woke up, he knew he's going to be a little bit worse off than the day before, and costing his family a fortune to be in that state. So after I told him what was happening, he said, well, darn it, Bill, I was ready to go. Now I've got something to live for. If I live a long time, it's on your hands.
Now, Bill, you talked to him here at the studio a little bit earlier. You asked him about some of his memories from the Rams game back when he was a kid. What did he tell you?
He really enjoyed the Rams players. He said they were all gentlemen, unlike some of the players throughout the leagues now. And that he had seats right in front of the press box, and his dad got free peanuts. And so part of the benefits of being the voice of the Rams and the son of the voice of the Rams, that his father would toss peanuts out of the press box down to him all through the game, so he didn't have to actually spend any money on peanuts. But he used to hang out with Mark Harmon back when Mark was probably 8 or 9 years old, up through the teen years. In their little Rams uniforms, Mark is number 98. And it just means so much to Pat. And what he is desperate for is an angel to come along financially. He has a home that he's willing to put up. Melody's willing to put it up. He has $1 million life insurance policy, but it's costing them about $150,000 a year just for his home health care. And if someone would come along and just loan them the money to keep him going for a few years, and that they're willing to pay back upon his death with interest, if someone would be so kind-hearted to do that. I know a lot of people have a lot of money. I don't have a lot of money. I have sent money to Pat and Melody just to help out the best that I can. And that type of contribution is appreciated also. But he does have a PayPal account, and it's Mr. PK1 at pacbell.net.
And you can always get in touch with us here at Sierra Wave Media, and I'll pass any information anybody would like to get along to Bill Schneider. Well, Bill, this is just a great story. While a lot of people here and in Southern California happy to have the Rams back, you've been a Bishop resident for years here in the Eastern Sierra, and I just thought it was a great local angle that we had, that you were able to get Pat Kelly to announce the starting lineups this Saturday on ESPN LA 710 radio. I just think it's a very cool thing, and as we've been looking at some of these great pictures. Bill is a KMET archivist. He's got some great stuff, and we just thank you very much for pulling this off and coming to share this great moment with us, because I just think it's fabulous. And I know a lot of folks our age that grew up with KMET and Pat Kelly and whatnot are going to really enjoy this.
Excellent. I hope it does bring enjoyment. That's the whole plan for the whole thing.
Yeah. All right. Bill Schneider. Bill, thank you very much.
Thanks, Bob.
All right. All right, well, we wish the best for Pat Kelly, and we thank Bill Schneider not only for the interview, but for doing such a great thing for one of his good friends. We'll be back with a weather report.